I'm on the road in Lombardia, a beautiful place in northern Italy, and the place where one of my favorite movies was filmed, Call Me By Your Name. My goal is to find most of the shooting locations here, and as you might have seen in my latest episodes, I was quite successful so far. Meanwhile, I arrived in a small village called Moscazzano. It's the place where Oliver walks into a bar, and it's also the place where Elio and Marzia decide to stay friends at the end of the movie. And it's also the place where we will find another important shooting location, a shooting location I never thought I could visit, but then something happened. You know what? The most amazing thing just happened. Well, but more about that later. There is another shooting location just a few hundred meters into that direction, and I found it by accident. It's one of the scenes when they cycle into town, right at the beginning of the movie, when they go to Crema. In reality, they don't go to Crema, they go to Moscazzano. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure we will find the famous scene. Well, and what I just told you is not entirely correct. Sorry for that. In fact, they do go to Crema in this scene. This is the place where they start the bike ride. They go from Moscazzano to Crema, and the next scene you see in the movie is this scene I already showed you in my latest episode, which was in fact shot in Crema. So everything they did here is absolutely correct, and it also makes totally sense in reality. This is the right way to go to Crema. The camera pans to the left and we can see Oliver and Elio cycling along this wall, and what we can see here is there is some kind of a billboard right in front of this wall in reality. They obviously removed it for the movie, or it wasn't even there, I don't know. And there are also some power boxes on the right side, and it seems a bit like they painted them for the movie so that they don't stand out so much.
You are really lucky today.
You know what? The most amazing thing just happened. I was walking along the street to do some recordings of the shooting locations here. And then there was a couple standing right in front of the shooting location. They were taking pictures, and there was also some older guy. And I said, hello. And they said,
Where do you come from?
From Germany.
Ah, Germany.
Yeah. Where are you from?
We're from Canada.
And they said,
Where in Germany are you from?
from Hanover.
Hanover, oh, okay.
And then they said, yeah, we're doing like a guided tour of the shooting locations. And then the older guy said, sir, today's your lucky day. Come with me. And then he led me to a place I never thought I could visit. He led me to Elio's house. Yeah, and here it is. It's not a joke. This is the famous house of Elio and his family from the movie Call Me By Your Name. But there is still a sad part of the story. Unfortunately, this is the only picture I can show you of the house. Unfortunately, I was not allowed to do any recordings on the property itself. They do guided tours here, obviously, but they also ask you not to publish any pictures of the property on the internet, which I can understand. There are people living here. This is private property. So this is a picture taken from a distance from the gate. And yeah, because of this, this is also the point where this movie location tour becomes a podcast for a few minutes. I'm really sorry for that, but yeah, I cannot show you any pictures, but I will describe what happened as precisely as possible. So, the funny thing about all this is, I did some research about this villa before I went to Italy, and I also found the address of the house. No problem at all. But when I found out that this is private property, I simply discarded my plan because I just didn't know who the owner was and who I could ask. So I just forgot about it, and I also didn't really know that this place is right here in Moscazzano. So when I came to this village with a bike, I literally cycled along the property without even knowing it. If you remember this cycling scene, here's a gate, and right behind this gate you will find the famous villa from the movie Call Me By Your Name. So, what happened was, the tourist guide and the couple led me to this gate, and I really didn't know what I would find behind it. I really didn't know what his plan was, why I should follow him. And well, then he opened the gate and suddenly I was in a huge garden. And when I saw the villa in the background, I just couldn't believe my eyes. So is that the house?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that. Let me in. I
Non
didn't
ci
think
crede. He can't believe it.
I didn't think that I could visit it. So.
Hey, you were really lucky. You came on the right moment. Yeah.
So here's a quick description what you can see on this property. The first thing you see, which you will also see from the street, from the gate, you can look through it, is a large square in the middle of this property. And this square obviously was the place where they shot the volleyball scene. Do you remember that? There are little ramparts around the square and a lot of trees, and you can also see that in the movie. On the right side of the square, there are some old buildings and a walking path, which is also surrounded by trees. But unfortunately, those trees are obviously no peach trees. As far as I know, there are no peach trees on this property, so they obviously made that up for the movie. And there obviously is also no pool, you see, in the movie. It just doesn't exist on this property. They just put it here for the movie. Unfortunately, we couldn't walk around the house, but on the front side of the house, you see a few trees. That is the place where Elio and his family were sitting at a table a lot of times. In reality, there is no table in front of the house. And what you will also find here is a second gate, which was also used in the movie a lot of times, for example, in this scene. Here we can see Oliver cycling into town, and we can see the girls who want to visit Elio, I guess. Yeah, that was filmed from over here. We're back on the street, and as you can see here, yeah, not that much has changed here. The gate is closed today, and you can also see the tree above the wall. The branches are hanging quite low today. It's not like that in the movie. They obviously cut it down. And what is also quite interesting is the grass on the ground. If you take a close look, there were car tracks in the movie. So obviously they drove a lot of times with a car to the property and back. Those car tracks are gone, and they are also gone on the property itself. There's a lot of grass there. There are no car tracks at all. So I think they don't really drive here with the car.
Dem Streckenverlauf 3 Kilometer folgen.
Okay, meanwhile, summer is back. Obviously, like nothing happened. Yeah, but also my little bike ride is almost over because all of the other shooting locations are a bit too far away. So I decided to go back to the bike rental store, bring back the bike, and yeah, then let's see what we can do after that. So that was my little bike ride. The next filming location we're gonna visit by car because it's quite far away from here. It's 27 minutes into a totally different direction with the car. And it's the place where Elio and Oliver do a bike ride, and then they stop at a little cottage or something, and then they ask an old lady for a drink. Yeah, let's try to find this scene.
Weiter geradeaus auf SP 124, dann erreichst du das Ziel.
Okay, here we are.
Du hast das Ziel erreicht.
Yep. Obviously I did. And this is the scene I'm talking about. Oliver and Elio are cycling to a little farmhouse, which you can see here, to ask an old lady for a glass of water. And as you can see here, almost nothing has changed here. The farmhouse still has its beautiful yellow color, and we can also see, obviously, nobody's living upstairs, or people are not at home, I don't know, because you can see here and in the movie that the windows are closed. What you can also see, and that is basically the only thing that has changed here, are the bollards on the ground. You see that, which obviously tells you not to drive with a car here because this is private property. They obviously removed those bollards for the movie. Here's the scene from another perspective, which is also not that interesting, as you can see here, because also here nothing has changed. The beautiful building on the left is also still here with its beautiful orange color. We can see an old gate on the right side in the background, which is also still here. Yeah, absolutely nothing has changed on this property. Here's a close-up of Elio. In the background we can see an animal stable, which has a really beautiful architecture. Looks a bit like a church, don't you think? Yeah, really beautiful. And on the right side we can also see there is a clock tower with an old historic clock, which also looks super interesting. Yeah, but I think this farm, as many farms in northern Italy, is also not in operation anymore. I can't hear or see any animals here. I also don't see any people, so I think, yeah, this farm is no longer in operation. Here we can see this building in the background, and yeah, also here not much has changed. I have the feeling that there is a tree missing. Everything else looks quite the same. And here it finally is, the scene where Elio asks the old lady to get a glass of water, and that was filmed from over here. And as you can see, everything looks exactly the same. By the way, this is a living house. There are people running around in the garden, so this is not as abandoned as it seems. There's also the cat. Look at her. Yeah, but everything else looks exactly like in the movie. And now the big question is, and this is also the what the heck moment of this episode, is there really a picture of Mussolini hanging above the door like in the movie Call Me By Your Name? And well, the answer is yes, there really is a picture of Mussolini hanging above the door. What the actual to be honest, I'm not an expert when it comes to Italian culture of remembrance, but this feels wrong. Is this even legal? And if it is legal, why should you hang a picture of Mussolini above your door? And there is also, as you can see, a flower right next to the picture. I don't know. I don't know. This feels super wrong. Well, maybe they just put the picture here for the movie Call Me By Your Name, because Oliver and Elio are also talking about it, and then they just left it here. Well, that's the version I want to believe. Everything else feels super wrong for me. I'm just as confused as Oliver and Elio are in the movie. Yeah, and this is the last scene I want to show you from this place. Oliver and Elio are leaving the farm. That was filmed from over here. And once again, we can see they put a really old vehicle on the road to make it look like 1983. And there's one thing that also has changed. There are a few trees missing in the background. One tree obviously is dead, or they just cut it down. And the other tree, yeah, is totally missing. It's not even here anymore. But everything else looks exactly the same like in the movie.
Das Ziel befindet sich auf der linken Seite.
Okay, The last shooting location I want to show you today is also one of the last scenes in the movie Call Me By Your Name. It's the scene where Elio and Oliver see each other the very last time, and that is of course at the train station. Yeah, I don't know if this is the saddest scene of the movie or is it the telephone scene. I don't know, you decide. But yeah, I found the train station and it's right over here and I hope I don't cry. Here we are. So if you thought this train station looks as picturesque like in the movie, it doesn't. Look at this. Everything's closed. That's not even a real train station anymore. Yeah, let's see how it looks from the other side. Here we are. That's the famous train station. Yeah, and this is the scene we all know from the movie. The train is coming, Oliver's train is coming, and Elio has to say goodbye. That was filmed from over here. We can see there are a few things they have changed. The lanterns are different, if you take a close look at the lanterns. Also, the signs at the rails, the numbers, are a bit different. And also, the building on the right has a different painting. It's beautiful painted in the movie. Well, it's not like that anymore. But yeah, everything else looks quite the same. There's also this little speaker at the roof of this small building, which you can still see here in reality. Here's the scene from a different perspective. Oliver saying goodbye to Elio before he gets on the train. That was filmed from over here. Here we also get a closer view of the building on the right, which I think in the past was a ticket sales counter. Yeah, it's obviously closed because it's 2022 and you don't need ticket sales counters anymore. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure in the year 1983 it was still open, but they don't really show it in the movie. Okay, and now let's reveal a great trick the producers of the movie Call Me By Your Name came up with. Take a look at this scene. This is, I would say, the saddest scene of the movie. The train drives away, Elio watches the train, and then he starts crying. This scene is so emotional, and this picture is also so emotional, maybe also because the scenery looks so beautiful. In the background you can also see a huge mountain and stunning nature, stuff like that. But if we take a look at the reality, we can see this doesn't look emotional at all. This is just an ugly train station, and there isn't even a mountain in the background. So this is all fake. They put a mountain in the background of this movie scene. However, it's the only fake I noticed so far, and the only scene they really retouched something. Here's Elio sitting on a bench. Really sad. That was filmed from over here. This bench doesn't look as great in reality. It's a brown old bench. In the movie it was a super modern, beautiful looking green bench. Also the surroundings in reality don't look nice at all. There is grass on the ground, there is garbage, there are paintings. Look at the billboard right behind Elio. It looks super ugly in reality. It doesn't look like that in the movie. Do you really think in the year 1983 train stations were that beautiful? To be honest, I don't think so. And here's the final scene of the movie Call Me By Your Name I want to show you, which is of course the scene where Elio calls his mom to pick him up from the train station, and that was filmed from over here. We can see this obviously is also a quite important place for fans of the movie Call Me By Your Name. There are a lot of markings on the wall, yeah, with Oliver and Elio, and a lot of references from the movie Call Me By Your Name. Yeah, but the most interesting thing, of course, is there really a telephone box inside this building? And well, let's take a quick look. Nope. There is no telephone box in this building. There are some power boxes Are that power boxes? I don't know. But there is definitely no telephone box in this building, like in the movie Call Me By Your Name. This place is so lonely. There is nobody here. And to be honest, I'm really a bit sad right now. This was the place. Imagine you're standing here and then you say goodbye to each other and you know you will never see each other again. This is really sad. Damn. Okay guys, I'm back in my beautiful hotel room and Jesus, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I started this morning at 8 o'clock or something. Now it's 9 o'clock in the evening. And yeah, I really have to sleep now. But that was a fantastic day. I've seen so many beautiful places. And yeah, I hope you liked my little bike ride. I hope you liked my little filming location tour here in northern Italy. If you did, then please leave a thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss any upcoming video. And if you'd like to know where all the shooting locations are, if you want to know the addresses, if you want to know where the bike rental shop is, if you want to know what great vintage retro hotel this is, then you definitely should become a Patreon. Then you will get all the exclusive information and also new videos before everyone else. So you definitely should check that out. Oh, Jesus, I'm so tired. I have to sleep now. So see you next time.